Oh, that one right there? Yeah. It was the priority. Are you live? Yes, I got up there. Take it live. Yeah. Everything's going to the. I'm not. They're going to the web. That's all I know is I got people keep screaming, "Why who are these people keep walking in the shop?" I'm like, just relax. That's fine. Yeah. Oh, he running y'all from the bird? Y'all on the bird? Oh, okay. Too much service. We were told not to.
Dad, will you help me with my math homework?
What you got?
Represent a fraction 1 over b on a number line.
So again, we're talking about a body of water, and again, that's also involving currents. And so could these currents have pushed some of those vehicles, push some of this material beyond this immediate scope? So again, this is a very extensive search effort underway right now. Time is of the essence. But again, at this point, we do know that rescued crews did manage to rescue 2 survivors earlier this morning, 1 in critical condition. But again, they are still looking for a number of other people. Again, the Baltimore City Fire Department spokesperson saying as many as 20 people could be in the river, along with at least 7 vehicles. We are going to continue to follow this breaking news story. We are going to step away for a 2-minute break, but on the other end of the break, we are going to be speaking with Rebecca Castor with Fox News Channel. She has been there at the scene all morning long, has the very latest developments for us. So again, we will be speaking with her live in Baltimore, Maryland in 2 minutes after the break. Welcome back to Live Now from Fox, and we continue to follow the breaking news out of Baltimore, Maryland, as rescue efforts continue after a large container ship smashed into the Francis Scott Key Bridge, and as many as 20 individuals plummeted into the river. We do want to bring in Rebecca Castor with Fox News Channel, who has been there all morning long. Rebecca, thank you so much for joining us. What's the latest?
Stephanie, good morning. We're starting to get some clarity on the number of people who were possibly on the bridge at the time of the collapse. We just got an update from officials here on the scene. Now, they're focusing the search and rescue efforts right now on a construction crew. They say there was a crew of at least 8 people filling in potholes on the bridge at the time of the collapse. 2 of those crew workers have been accounted for, so now they're focusing the efforts on the 6 missing people. Now, it's also unclear right now if there were any other drivers outside of the construction crew that were traveling on the bridge at this time. Officials seemed hesitant to confirm other drivers were traveling at that time or not. But we also heard from the governor of Maryland as well, and he tells us that the preliminary investigation shows so far that this does appear to be an accident. There aren't any indications that there was criminal intent here or any acts of terror. And we also have been told that the ship that caused this just horrific tragedy reported power issues just minutes before the crash.
All right, Rebecca, thank you so much for that. And again, this continues to be a breaking news situation when it comes to rescue efforts. Obviously, this is a very extensive effort underway right now. What is the latest on that? Because I have to imagine that they've now expanded that beyond the immediate emergency area.
So the Coast Guard has numerous vessels out here searching the waters. They're using sonar technology to look for any vehicles that might have plunged into the waters as well. So fortunately, now that we've had daylight for the last few hours, that is definitely going to be more helpful to the search crews instead of searching in the pitch of black of night with these murky waters. But we're talking about water temperatures that are roughly 48 degrees. So when you're looking at water that's frigid, and the air is pretty frigid as well, we're looking at about 1 to 3 hours before the people in the water would risk chances of hypothermia and their chances of survival go down significantly.
All right, Rebecca Castor with Fox News Channel. Thank you so much for that report. And we do want to show you another live look right here, again, as rescue efforts are underway right here. And you heard from Rebecca Castor as time is of the essence. But again, they are also taking a very close look at the potential of a possible power failure is what she mentioned right there. And again, a construction crew of about 8 individuals were working on the bridge as it collapsed. And again, you can see a live look and a speedboat right there, again, as rescue crews continue to expand their efforts now that daylight is upon us, because again, this happened at 1:30 in the morning. It was incredibly dark, adding to the challenge when it comes to the quick response time. But again, all hands on deck. This is a multi-agency effort underway with both state agencies and federal agencies working in tandem to figure out exactly what happened, what led to this catastrophe, and of course the human aspect in all of this, which is finding as many survivors as possible. And again, earlier today, 2 people were rescued, one of those individuals in critical condition. But again, we're told as many as 20 people were on the bridge when it collapsed, at least potentially 7 vehicles. And again, that search effort continuing at this hour. We are going to take a 2-minute break here on Live Now from Fox, but in 2 minutes, we're going to bring in Dr. Jeff Brown, who is an associate professor of civil engineering at Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University, to talk more about the engineering of this bridge and how that might have played a role in all of this. So again, that interview in 2 minutes. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Live Now from Fox, and we continue to follow breaking news out of Baltimore, Maryland, as you are taking a look at a very large container ship right there in the middle of your screen. And you can see that a bridge has collapsed around it. It is the Francis Scott Key Bridge. The container ship smashing into this bridge, causing it to collapse at around 1:30 this morning. And again, the biggest question is, what happened? Why did this happen? That is something that investigators are continuing to keep a very close eye on, whether this was human error, whether there was structural concerns with the bridge itself, whether there was some technological issue with the container ship. And as soon as we receive another update in regards to this, we, of course, will let you know. But now we want to bring in Dr. Jeff Brown, who is an associate professor of civil engineering at Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University. And Dr. Brown, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us today.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And again, this continues to be breaking news. So we are continuing to receive information, and some of the information continues to be limited right here. But when you first learned of this catastrophe, and from your expertise as a civil engineer, what immediately came to mind for you?
I was honestly terrified. I think some of the video footage that's been made available really illustrates the type of damage and the destructive nature that these ship collision events can have on these really large bridges.
And let's take a look, because again, as you mentioned, this is a very large bridge. This is a very large container ship. When it talks about a structural integrity, is this for such an event, or is this beyond what would typically happen if a container ship this size were to run into such a bridge?
Yeah, so unfortunately, when you have this type of direct collision from a ship of this size, there's really not a whole lot that the bridge pier is going to be able to do to both stop the vessel and maintain its integrity and keep providing support. So this bridge actually had a very large span length, about 1,200 feet. And so historically, they would design bridges with a very wide span to allow ships more room to pass safely. And then in an instance like this, where it sounds like the vessel may have lost power or may have lost its ability to steer, then the 1,200 feet isn't wide enough, and you end up with the catastrophe that we're seeing here right now.
Absolutely. And when it comes to structural integrity with these bridges,